thing of white America has been told this lie. How will they get accustomed to living and being of, dang, I've been thinking this way all this time, or do you think that they just sit back and they don't even care about it because the law still resides on their side more than ours?
Exactly, because when the Constitution was written, who was it written by? It was written by white forefathers. Hello, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Meet the Shoe. I'm Sade.
I'm Nina.
And today we're going to talk about social and systematic disparities and racism in the world going on today. As we just sit here and just think of how society has treated the black community, black and brown community over years and years, even back into slavery time, we think about how we feel betrayed in a sense, and how do we deprogram our minds to not see authority because the authority is at a different race, you know. How do we see them at this point? How can we deprogram ourselves is when we see the police, we're not running. We're not scared. We're not frightened. When do we get to that point as a community to just not be fearful of them?
To fear no one but God.
Just no one but God. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's like even back in the slavery days, you see a white man on a horse. He's in control of everything. He controls what you eat, how you sleep, and whatever. What you wear and all that. Mm-hmm. You see him on a big white horse, and here we go. Our ancestors scared, afraid, and the beatings and all this stuff come about. It's like we're just programmed as a generation. It just trickled down to being fearful of the white man. Right.
Well, and it takes you to a place where, they want you in fear, because if they always keep you in fear, they will always be in control. And so it goes back to those situations where you have family members and co-workers that you love that are of a different race, usually white, right?
Yeah, interracial.
And it goes to there's interracial relationships in our households, right? And in our families. And so it always goes back to like with the Daunte Wright situation. You see this white woman that's up there describing the pain, and every time she talk, I cry.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not crying because she, because she's a white woman.
Right.
I'm crying because humanity has been taken away from so many people, and I feel that mother's pain. I haven't experienced per se what she has.
Right.
But
you can feel
I feel her pain as being a mother, that she is now seeing what it feels like to lose a child now. Right. But a black child came from her.
Exactly.
And then like his sister said, meaning the father's sister, the aunt that's been speaking, this isn't no messed over family. The mom and dad have been together over 20 years.
Right.
And so Daunte came from a two-parent family home of working people, parents. And why is everything so focused on a kid that didn't know what to do?
Right. He was frightened.
Exactly. And so everybody has made up excuses for white men that are in power, in control, to control the ways of the world. And now the ugly head of it is coming about and destroying them as well. So when 1 + 1 = 2, when will everything be equal?
Right.
I don't know if, in our lifetime that it ever will be, but this younger generation is not having it.
No.
The same with the little boy going to the FedEx and killing everybody.
Oh, wow.
He could have talked to somebody. A simple conversation would have changed that, but he
Yes.
took some lives with him, including himself.
Right.
So systematically, it's not working. How, as a people, do we sit down with our loved ones that are of different races and we don't understand? For example, your white family members or your white friends, I'm sure that they say, what can I do?
Yeah.
How should I feel? I don't like what I'm feeling. I don't like what I'm seeing.
We don't understand.
Right. They don't understand. So what can you do? Like talking to, if we had an opportunity to talk to Daunte Wright's mother, right? As being Black African American women, what can we say to her? There's nothing that we could really say or do to make her feel better. Her son is gone, but how do we make things of a change that sticks? Because they'll say something is going to stick, and they'll say something is going to change.
But it never does.
But it goes backwards. It goes right back to the old ways of what it's been.
Right. And then for us, we're trying to change things, even with talking with our young adults. I try and tell my son, don't run from the police. If they have you apprehended, to the point like Daunte did. I mean, I feel bad, and I wish he would have just went on and let them handcuff him and take him to the jail, but that didn't happen.
Right.
So when do we give we have, it's sad that we have to sit down and talk to young men and women, children, adolescents, young adults, about the authority to sit there and just let them do their job, and hopefully they don't abuse you.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of hard because just like him, he was scared, he was frightened, he didn't know what to do, so he thought he was running. But at the same point, defunding the police, everybody say defund the police, but they need to be retrained.
Right,
they need
exactly.
to be reprogrammed as well. The woman that shot him, she grabs her so-called taser, which your taser is supposed to be on
your left side. Your
taser.
Your Glock is on the right side. Power.
Yes.
Power, or more dominant.
Yes.
More dominant. I seen a white police officer that was holding his baby, and he gave an example of taser. He's a police officer now. He was the police officer, and he gave an example of a taser and a gun, two different weight classes, and he did not believe it. He didn't want to say that because he didn't want to get fired, but he just put the love out there to say that was wrong.
Yeah.
It was wrong, and it was not an accident.
No,
it was
a
blatantly done. Like, you stupid America, you're going to see. Let me continue to show you how dumb you are for going for our BS.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Every situation is different.
Yeah.
They have all these excuses for Derek Chauvin or whatever, however you say his name. They have all these excuses about George Floyd wouldn't listen, and he was scared. But see, these white people can make these excuses because they don't deal with the police the way that we do.
Exactly.
They don't have anxiety. Their parents aren't sitting at home instructing them and telling them that the police will kill you. The police are gonna kill you when they pull you over. It's like you think that as soon as you get pulled over, you're like, is this it? Is my day about to end? I don't care if it's for a traffic traffic stop, and I don't care about us being a woman, you automatically think that.
Yes.
Like, how is this going to be? You have your license. Like, I was pulled over for not having my lights on, and the man was very nice police officer. But how do I know that that was going to happen?
Exactly.
It's dark outside. Mm-hmm. I'm pulled over. He said, I pulled you over because you don't have your lights on.
Right.
And he was laughing. I said, oh, I'm sorry. You know, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just coming from entertaining myself. And he's just telling me, you don't have your lights on. You're a danger to the rest of the drivers. Your lights ain't on.
Right.
Right. And what it was my park lights was on so they could see me. But the point of, how do I know I can't think for other drivers, right? Mm-hmm. And so at what point is the system going to be accountable? Because even right now, with them guarding the woman's house, right?
Yes.
They're guarding her house, and her neighbors are upset because it's like, okay, what about when all this is over?
Right.
What about when all this is over and we're known for the city of the woman that killed a young boy, regardless of what color he is? She faked it to the world that taser, you knew what you had.
The taser handle is way shorter than her.
And it has a string on it.
Yes. So,
I don't get that. Like, how do you not know you don't have a string? Like, you knew what you were doing.
sad. It's sad.
And it's like, at what point do they tell their self that they're correct systematically? Like, I don't understand how police that do wrong, and just the system in a whole that seek to do wrong, they don't have a conscience. Like, they don't realize that every single thing they do will be passed down to their kids and their kids' kids. And even dealing in devilish, evil form, right?
Right.
It's still going to come back.
Yeah.
You can't constant do good and think that it's going to all turn out pretty. Look at Madoff, right? The guy that embezzled all of the money and took down all these people, scammed all these people.
Yes.
That man was such a millionaire, had servants at his feet. He didn't think that karma was going to come, but boom. He pissed off somebody white, because he's white. He pissed off somebody white, and that karma came back full circle.
To him and his family.
He ended his last days. Him and his family ended their last days in a penitentiary.
Yes.
What makes the prison system? Just look.
And his son committed suicide in the midst of that.
That's what I'm saying, because no more money. We're broke. What can we do, right? The same with the Capitol. All you lawmakers, I don't care what reason the Trump supporters use of why they got so upset and they went right to the point, though.
Yes.
Not one person was shot.
Right.
One white person shot another white person.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. They put this big thing on black, but most white people kill white people.
Yeah.
Black people kill black people. Asian people kill Asian people. Like, this is a thing that is, you're around your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? You're doing what you're used to. And so that goes back to the system part of it, right?
How do we deprogramming
our mind to not live the way the white man has designed us to live, right? How do you do that?
Gosh.
How do you do that? How do you operate in a world where everything is controlled by government, regardless if you like it or not? Land of the free is not land of the free.
Right.
At all. So how do you convert your mind and attitude towards more of a non-free world? We've been free all this time doing what we want to do and say what we want, but how do we change that now?
Wow. I'm thinking we have to build our communities up better, more positive, supporting each other. Because, a lot of, like the Asian community, a couple other communities, they have their own businesses, like and they keep their money within the community.
Exactly.
So we have to build ourselves up, black and brown, to that capacity as well. A lot of entrepreneurs are coming out with their own food, seasonings, grocery stores, beauty supplies. Because we are we spend the most. Most of the consumers are African American, black and brown people. So recreating jobs, reprogramming our minds to do that, to keep it in the community. Becoming entrepreneurs, being more strategic buyers.
Right.
You know, so it's really hard, you know, because majority of the police department is white.
Right. Do you think that the police department will, not just the police department,
it happens
more
everywhere.
of Congress, law legislation, right? Will they allow more color in the law of the land to provide equality amongst the land?
They're trying to. It's few and far between. They're not. I can't see half. It'd be half and half, brown and black and white.
You don't think it'll all be equal, like a portion white, a portion black, a portion Asian, a portion
they don't even
American
want to do that.
Indian descendants?
I don't think so.
And it's sad to say that the American Indians, you know, some others fight that, this was their land, or others fight that it was blacks were here very first. One black natives were here first, and you know, it was a mixture of people, not just native people. Right. And so, it's real disturbing that, you know, you're just now seeing native descendants as of the past couple of years becoming Congress.
Right.
Controlling the law of the land, right? That's very disrespectful. And it's just like the whole thing of white America has been told this lie. How will they get accustomed to living and being of, dang, I've been thinking this way all this time, you know? Or do you think that they just sit back and they don't even care about it because the law still resides on their side more than ours?
Exactly, because when the Constitution was written, who was it written by? It was written by white forefathers. So they are relying on the Constitution, and the Constitution
and they haven't
shows
changed
nothing.
Anything.
No, they
all
don't
the law of the lands have been racial from the beginning. And they've been altered in some ways and some forms to fit some things that we have a little bit more ease of, but ultimately nothing has been accommodating to any one ethic. Right? Not even Native Americans.
No.
And this is they've just become in the 90s to where the Indian Native Americans have fought to get the percentage of the government money to the tribes of their ancestors, right? They've just in the 90s. That's not long. That's 30 years old at the most, right? And what about that is so disturbing is that you would think as a people, as them, they would want to see more of a change, just because, like I said, we got mixed up
blood,
interracial blood in our families, all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, the whitest family has somebody in their family that's of that a mixed race, regardless of what it is. And it's like, why are you trying so hard to control what's behind you? And not make it for the better. It's like they keep on making the same laws apply that applied 100 years ago, and that's not working.
No, it's not.
I don't know what I would do, honestly, to deprogram my mind to a system that is not on my side. The system is not on my side, so trying to deprogram myself to me, is like a joke, right? It's a waste of time to not put that much energy in it. It's more energy needs to go into spirituality.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people end up doing, is being more spiritually in tune with their inner self. But in the same token, maybe the police department, they have to meet us halfway.
Yep. I don't know if they're gonna meet us halfway. Because they don't think they're doing anything wrong. Anytime you have someone that justifiably sees wrongs, they have two eyes just like we do. And they see, and they have a heart as well. Regardless if they're evil and their heart is bad, they could sit there and lie and tell themselves a lot of the things and killings that have happened has not been justified.
Right.
So to sit and constantly make up an excuse about why, you've killed another man. The man, you are to protect and serve us.
Yes.
The prison system, you are
it's the same.
You need to control what you see and what we're doing. Because we committed a crime, and still in all, you are to protect and serve. Right. You don't have to be disrespectful.
And they do that a lot.
You don't have to constantly abuse
verbally
your power.
Abuse. Yeah.
They abuse verbal and physical.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying I wouldn't even waste my time on trying to deprogram myself. I continue to move spiritual in my higher power, constantly in prayer, constantly asking for forgiveness, constantly asking for things all day long. And then at the same time, thanking God for continuing to have me here and allowing me to have a voice and a platform, right? Yes. Outside of that, it's just like, and even with this being Minnesota, wow, we have two horrible killings. Yeah. Within a year of each other. And then 2 years before that was the Philando Castile. Yes. And then they're all similar situations, all three of them, right?
And they still justify the police.
Clark as well. And it's so many people back from even when I was young. Tysell Nelson. That was the first time I encountered, the situation with the police killing
and what year was
people.
That?
I believe that was 1991. Wow. It was 90s. Yeah. 90s. 91 was when Tysell got killed by the police.
On the north side.
Right across the street from our school that we went to. Right? And that's another thing. I so would love for come to Jesus moment, and the police department goes against their own system and says, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take on the training. I have yet to see an actual trainer that trains people not to kill. Right. Killing should be your last resort, regardless of the fact. To empower, if a person is not powering danger towards you, why are you so scared and frantic? What are you afraid of? And then even with the lady saying that she grabbed the taser, you had no reason. There was no weapon. No. There was no threat opposed to you. There's no reason why a taser should have been used at all.
That's why we feel betrayed by the system.
Exactly. Constant betrayal. Because it sits right there in your face, in your eyes. You're trying to tell me the same thing you're seeing, I'm not seeing. Right. Like, he didn't pose no threat by leaving the scene. It was wrong, but he didn't impose a threat. He was terrified. He called his mama.
Help us.
The same situation. That's what I'm saying. He called for his mother. His white mother. Not, to be like that, but his mother. Right. And I'm saying white mother because she is feeling the same pain that black people been feeling forever. Mm-hmm. And not just her. She isn't the first white woman that has lost a son mm-hmm. due to violence. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? She's not even with a white woman that has just, white kids and has lost a child. And in a violent way.
In a violent way.
She's not the first. It's just that her being so willing to be on camera and continue to talk about the loss of her child, that's what's hurting us.
Yes, it is.
As black people, to watch her because we know her pain.
Feel it, yes.
Feel so sorry for her that nothing we say or do can help her get that void out of her. For her not to forget that conversation. Mama was the last one to talk to her son before he passed on. We just give our love and condolences to the families. Yes. Lost a child or loved one to police brutality. And we just hope they grieve, find a place in their heart, to mourn safely. Mm-hmm. And that's all we can do by having those prayers for everyone. Hope it gets better. We just pray for it to get better for all of us. Right.
So, thank you guys for listening to another episode of Meet the Shoe.
Thank you. See you Monday.